One day, long ago, God spoke to Jonah.
Jonah, I have a job for you. Up on your feet, the city of Nineveh has become wicked and full of sin. They are in a bad way, so I need you to visit Nineveh and preach my word. I cannot ignore this anymore. Preach against all that they are doing, because I have heard and seen all that they are doing, and I am greatly displeased.
But Jonah had other ideas.
Nineveh? Never! Ah! Not Nineveh! I'll never go to Nineveh. Never. Not ever. It's a terrible place of wickedness. They get up to all sorts of wrong things and sin against God. It's a real rubbish place to live. A garbage bin. Anything, Lord, but that, please. I know what I'll do. I'll run as far away from God as I can. Yes, that's what I'll do. God will be angry with me, but I'll hide.
So this is what Jonah did. He ran off to the port of Joppa.
Hello, fair friends. Which way are you sailing?
That depends where you want to go.
In the opposite direction to Nineveh.
Okay, you've got your wish. We sail for Tarshish. Is that fair enough? Far enough? I just got my words muddled up. Far enough away for you?
So Jonah paid his fare. Went aboard and sailed for Tarshish to run away from God. The all-knowing God who knew exactly what was going on and where he was.
I'll go below deck so God won't see me.
Sorry, technical hitch. But God sent a huge storm at sea. A thunderous lightning, flashing, crashing storm. Howling winds and never-ending crashing and lightning. The sort that made everyone feel sick.
Looking pathetic, I feel sick.
I'm gonna drown.
We will die.
The waves towered over them. The storm raged on and on and on. The sailors were terrified and each cried out to their own God.
Throw the cargo overboard to lighten our load. Sorry, Jonah.
But this made no difference. Jonah had laid down and fallen sound asleep. He didn't even notice the danger they were in. Just as the ship was about to break up, the captain went below deck to make sure Jonah was okay, as no one had seen him since they set sail.
How come you're asleep? It's about to break up, this ship. Get up! Pray to God! Maybe he will take down his of us and we'll all be saved. Oh, we will be saved because we're pirate, we're sailors, we speak in the present tense. Come on, up on deck, with us quickly.
Pray that we might be saved. Oh, I feel awful. I think we should cast lots to see who has annoyed their God so much that he has done this.
Surprise, surprise. the short straw was Jonah's.
Here, mister, who are you? Where do you come from?
Where you running away from?
What's your country and who are your people?
I'm a Hebrew and I worship the Lord, the God of heaven who made all of us, the land and the sea and all within it.
At this, the sailors were terrified.
Terrified. What have you done? Who are you running away from?
The sea was getting rougher, the lightning, and the thunder crashed.
What can we do to calm the sea? Tell us, please.
Pick me up and throw me into the sea. It will become calm. Everything is my fault that this great storm has come upon us.
Instead, the men did their best to row the boat back to dry land.
Which is not easy when you've got your hands on the boat.
The storm raged on,
Oh gosh, we're still
and
raging.
on, and on.
Oh Lord, please do not let us be blamed if we take this man's life.
Slight technical. Come on, Mitch.
Oh God, do not make us responsible for killing an innocent man for you, oh Lord.
Then they took Jonah,
We take him, do we? Goody! Right!
and
Right,
they
you're on the boat, mate.
pushed him into the raging sea.
There you go!
Immediately, the sea became calm.
That's calm.
The sailors were so impressed, they went off and offered a sacrifice and
Oh,
made
right.
promises to God.
You fancy a burger then? Right.
Jonah sank down and down and down. When suddenly, a great fish appeared. Its mouth open. In Jonah went, right down inside. And there he stayed for 3 whole days. Imagine what it must have been like. Dark, damp, full of the things the fish had eaten, including seaweed. Yuck.
Oh, I'm in trouble, deep trouble. From the belly of the grave, I cried help, and you heard my cry. You threw me deep into the ocean, into this watery grave. I said, I have been thrown away, thrown out of your sight. Yet I will look again at your holy temple. I was as far down as a body could go, and the gates were slamming shut after me. Yet you pulled me up from that grave alive. Oh God, my God. When my life was slipping away, I remembered God, and my prayer got through to you. Those who worship empty gods fall away from their only true love. But I am worshipping you, God, calling out in thanksgiving. I will do what you have asked of me. Salvation and forgiveness is yours, Lord.
Then God commanded the fish to spit Jonah out. He landed on the seashore, and once again God said to Jonah,
Up on your feet and go to Nineveh. Preach to them. I cannot ignore it anymore. This time, Jonah started off straight away to Nineveh, which was a very big city. It took him 3 days to walk across it.
Jonah entered the city, went 1 day's walk and preached across it. And Jonah proclaimed,
40 more days and Nineveh will be overturned. Repent, for in 40 more days Nineveh will be no more.
The people listened to Jonah as he told them to turn away from their wicked ways and repent of their sins by turning back to God and saying sorry. When the message reached the king, he got off his throne and threw down his royal robes, dressed in sackcloth, and then sat in the dirt. Then he issued this decree.
Do not let any man or beast, herd or flock taste anything. Do not let them eat or drink. Let them be covered in sackcloth. Everyone must call urgently on God. Give up their evil ways and their violence. Who knows? God may yet relent, and with compassion turn from his anger and let us live.
And God said,
I have seen my people turn from their wickedness and return to me. Because of this, I will not destroy them.
Oh, I knew this would happen. Oh, I'm very cross. That's why I fled to Tarsus. I knew you are a gracious and compassionate God, slow to anger and rich in love, to turn your plan of punishment into a program of forgiveness. Oh, it's better for me to die than to live. So take away my life.
Have you any right to be angry?
Jonah went out, made a shelter, and sat sulking in the sun. He waited for action, but of course there was none. Then God provided a vine.
Find having trouble.
They enjoyed the shade and things were looking up. But at dawn the next day, God sent a worm to bite into the vine, and it died. When the sun came up, God sent a very, very, very hot east wind, and the sun beat down on Jonah so that he grew faint. He wanted to die.
Oh, it's better for me to die than to live.
Do you have any right to be angry? Jonah, you cared for the vine, although you did not water it to make it grow. It sprang up overnight and died overnight. Think how much more I care for a city of thousands of people, all whom I know. Remember this about your God above. I am a God of compassion and love. Should I not be concerned about these people?
I just loved Jonah, a man who thought he could play hide and seek with God and lost. Despite being a prophet, he was, like all of us, flawed. He looked upon the people of Nineveh with a mixture of fear and dread. He was prejudiced. He had made up his mind that there was no value in them and that he wanted God to destroy them. How difficult then to be asked by God to go to them, to warn them of the need to change, or otherwise destruction. So Jonah takes the easy way out. He runs away, ignoring God's message until he's pulled up short. God saw what he was up to, stopped him, and pulled him back to God's plan. And so, reluctantly, Jonah obeys, and his worst fears are realised. The people of Nineveh turn away from their evil ways, and God relents. So, is Jonah happy? No chance. I knew you'd do that, God. That's why I sailed to Tarshish. So is there a message in this story for us? I believe that God has a plan and each of us has a part to play in it. Young or old, whole or broken, able or those with a disability. God called many unlikely people to fulfill his plan. Noah was a drunkard. Moses a murderer and had a speech impediment. David an adulterer and a murderer. Peter denied Christ 3 times. And Judas betrayed him. Each of them had a part to play in God's plan. When God calls you, will you laugh like Sarah, run away like Jonah, or follow? Will your destination be Tarshish or Nineveh? What God expects is not for you to understand his plan. He tells us in Isaiah that my thoughts are nothing like your thoughts, and my ways are far beyond anything you could imagine. What he expects for us is to accept our calling and to step out in faith, trusting in God's plan and that he will support and enable us. My prayer for each of us is that God will help us to see that all of his children are loved, and that his gift of salvation is there for everyone. And that, if we're called to confront our prejudices, we let God have his way and rejoice in his mighty works. Amen. Amen.